I was working with, again, Dr. Baylor constantly through this process. She'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen anything like it. And so last month, at the end of last month, I finally made the decision that enough was enough. What's up, guys? So, had a couple things that have happened recently, and not all of them were good, unfortunately. So, you guys know when we moved here, when we moved up to Utah last year in July, we had some issues with the entire collection. It was a lot more stressful than I ever anticipated it being. I was a bit overconfident in the entire situation, to be perfectly frank. I've never had issues with my collection the way that I have when I moved here and that I've had since I've been here. Part of the reason was I was in a little bit more of a controlled environment previous to this. I was also at a much lower elevation. I'd also never moved my entire collection across state lines, long road trip, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first thing I'm gonna put out there, is if you guys have a large collection of reptiles, before you make a big move, think long and hard about it and make a really good plan on how to do it. I thought that I had a good plan. I thought that I had done things right. And I have been learning since that there were some things that I should have done differently. So that said, you guys remember, I did a video, or you might not remember, but I did a video not long after that we got here about our pied adult female Muerta, which if you followed Wildfire for any length of time, you know that Muerta was a really special animal to me, mainly because of the amount of time that I had to put into her to get her to even to be handleable or workable. When I got Muerta, she was an adult, she was 4 years old, she hadn't been worked with. She was not quite a wild type, but very close. Even just opening her cage, she was ready for battle in an instant. And I spent a lot of time, actually, if you go back on our Facebook page, there's videos of me with Muerta where I'm still wearing full gloves, like going at, just me by myself with the camera set over on the side. Anyways, when we moved here, Muerta got really, really sick. The stress, she apparently had some type of infection going on. I had no signs of it, no idea that she had anything going on. When we got here to Utah, the way that we did the move is we brought all the snakes and all the cages and everything first, right? We set up the facility. And then we went back to Colorado. We were gone for 3 days, got all the stuff for the house, personal stuff, the dogs, and then came back. Well, in those 3 days, Muerta got very, very, very sick, to the point where I didn't know if she was even gonna make it. Fortunately, we have a really great vet here, Dr. Laura Baylor, up at Mountain West Veterinary Specialist in Layton, Utah. She has been amazing since we've been here, and she has been the one that I've been working with directly on Muerta's care since last July. So we got here, Muerta was really bad shape. We hit her with a strong course of antibiotics, both injectable as well as nebulization. So we did a video on that. We'll put a link in all this so you guys can go back and see that. And we did about an 8-week course of antibiotics and everything, and it seemed to work. Muerta seemed to be healthy, she was good, no problem. And then she came into season to breed, and she didn't breed last year. So I thought, hey, she's healthy, she got over the infection, she didn't breed last year, no problem, let's breed her. So I did. That was the clutch, and she went full term. She produced a clutch. Unfortunately, a lot of those eggs weren't fertile. We only ended up with 3 good eggs in the entire clutch, and I now fully understand why. She wasn't healthy enough, and even though she went full term, even though she produced a clutch, she wasn't healthy enough to produce a good clutch, and that's why we only got 3 eggs. And ever since she laid those eggs, I've been battling, and she laid those eggs last November. I was battling not with her in terms of her being aggressive, but with the infections that she had, and she had multiple. She had an RI. She also had an infection that we have since learned was Pseudomonas, which actually comes from rabbits. That's where she got the infection from. So, for those of you that feed rabbits to your collections, there are a couple things going on with rabbit breeders in this country right now that a lot of you might not be aware of. If you don't buy your rabbits directly from a breeder, there are some things going through rabbit collections, and Pseudomonas bacteria is one of them. that bacteria is transferable to your snake, period. It can be. Now, in a healthy snake, probably not a big deal. Snake can absorb it, not a big deal. But in a snake with any kind of a compromised immune system, it can cause big issues. And that's exactly what happened with Muerta. We started Muerta on a course of antibiotics in the end of November, beginning of December, and it was literally a 12-week course of antibiotics. 3 of them, 3 different antibiotics. Nothing worked, flat out. I'm just gonna put it out there. Nothing worked. She was not like, she never got over any of the infections. She would get a little bit better, and then within a day of giving her antibiotic injections, nebulizing, soaking her, she'd be good for a day, and then she'd go downhill again. And it was just this constant battle. I was working with, again, Dr. Baylor constantly through this process. She'd never seen anything like it. I'd never seen anything like it. And so last month, at the end of last month, I finally made the decision that enough was enough. It was what was in Muerta's best interest was to be euthanized. And so we unfortunately lost that animal. And it's been a real bummer. As you know, when we moved here, we lost Neffy. So this is now the 2nd animal in a year, adult female, that we've lost. Some people would raise questions. Hey, what's going on with your program? You know, what are you guys not doing? Look, you can't have a collection this size and not have problems. Statistically speaking, you cannot keep the number of animals that I keep here and not have issues. It's just impossible. It just is. And I've been very, very fortunate over the last couple of years as I built this program, as I've been, getting into breeding, that I really haven't had many issues because I am so stringent about the care about the health of my animals. But every now and then you run into something that you just can't beat. And that was unfortunately what happened with Muerta. So after months and months of fighting it, antibiotics, nebulization, soak treatments, I'm literally doing IV treatments with her. We tried everything. We pulled out all the stops, and just nothing worked. So that is kind of what today's video is about. We're gonna put in some footage of Muerta from over the past that I had taken myself, that Joe had also taken some pictures of her. She was a really great animal, and I put a lot of time in. The thing is that really, for me, that's difficult. Animals are gonna pass away. I know that none of these animals are gonna live as long as I am, right? That's just fact, right? That all of them will pass away before I do. Well, more than likely, unless I do something stupid, which that's likely. But anyways, the majority of them, or if not all of them, will pass away before I do. And I know that when I hatch out a snake, I know that the likelihood of it making it, 20, 25 years, it isn't real high, right? It just isn't. And so that's to be expected. What's difficult is when you put the amount of time and effort into an animal like I did with Muerta. Like I said, when I got her, I could not handle her. There was nothing I could do with that snake. And we'll show a video, some clips of one of the last videos that we posted of her, where I had her up around my neck, hanging out, not a big deal. And so that's what's difficult for me. It's just a lot of time that I put into that animal that unfortunately, in the end was not for nothing, but it went down the drain. So kind of a somber one today, guys. I'm sorry, but I wanted to make this mostly so that you guys are aware of what can happen when you're keeping a collection this size, to when you're feeding live prey. And again, we don't feed actual live, but when you're feeding prey that was at one point alive to another animal, it can carry diseases, it can carry bacteria, and that can transfer. And that is part of what happened here in this situation. And again, it's unfortunate. We're really gonna miss Muerta. Fortunately, we have a few of her babies here that will carry on her legacy. And that's kind of where we're at. So thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you later. Doing, sweetheart. She hates a hook. Hates a hook. So that's part of why this is really, yeah, I know. Yeah, it's been a while, So, oh yeah, nice. Get it out of your cage, go ahead. This is one of the reasons why this hook is so crucial. And it's literally for this snake right here. Get. Go. Because she does not like to be touched, messed with, maneuvered. anything. There we go. Come on, get it out. There you go. Come on. Get it all out. Better there than on me. Oh yeah. Woo! Always an adventure. This hook this time, not the drag hook, because she's going to be nice and angry about coming out of here. So,
how big is this snake?
about 13 feet, 12, 13 feet, right in that range. So, I don't like to put my face down close to her if I don't have to, because she's so unpredictable. So if I can do that, like that, there. Now I got her. And I always grab the tail, the tip of the tail, and try to get the body to support her up out of there. Now, as you can see, she doesn't want to go back in her cage now. Doesn't want to come out of the cage, doesn't want to go in the cage. Here we go. Go on, yeah, see, left me a nice mess on the floor.
It's not in the clean cage.
And she goes a little crazy when she goes back in.
What kind of snake? What morph is this?
That is a pied Anery tiger pos head albino. We'll find out in about 2 months when her eggs hatch out that are cooking in the incubator right now. We can take a shot of those here in a minute, but her name is Muerta, which means death in Spanish. And between her black eyes and her god-awful attitude, her name is quite fitting. So that's how we deal with Muerta. All right, guys, here we go. We're gonna pull these eggs from Muerta. This is gonna be an entertaining ordeal, I promise. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds, let people get on here so people can watch. And Muerta is aware that we are here. She's not super. There we go. All right. Sorry guys, connection's not the best in here. Metal building, not the best. Let me flip it around. You can see what we've got here. So there's the pile of eggs. That's what we've got, and that's what we got to get out of there. And she is not going to be happy about it. So this is always the most fun part about dealing with retics. But hopefully she's still kind of tired from laying that whole pile, and we can make this a little bit easier. So I'm going to hand this over to my assistant, Casey. Everybody say hi, Casey. Hi. All right. Let me get the glass out of here first. So for those of you guys can't really see right now, but Muerta's head is right here underneath all the eggs. So this is what's going to be fun, is getting her out from underneath there without disturbing the eggs too much. I'm going to use my push hook. And yup, I'm putting my glove on. Don't care. Come on, man. Come on.
right, y'all. So Muerta's cage is cleaned. We got the eggs out. Now we gotta put her back in the cage. And as always, it's probably gonna be an adventure. Maybe she's still a little bit worn out. Complete and utter tyrant. Oh no. No, she's not happy. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Huh? Doing well? She hates the hook. And there she is, my sweet little girl. Now, I want to check her as we bring her out and make sure that she doesn't have any more eggs hiding in there. I really don't think she does, but no, she's completely empty. Come on, sweetheart. And let go. There it is. Muerta's done. Time to start feeding her again. So, I wanted to post an update. Had some guys that came by the facility yesterday, and they've known me for a while, and they've known this girl here since I got her. This is Muerta. And for those of you that have seen any videos from probably a year and a half ago, you remember that this snake was one that I had a real hard time with. And I have since put a lot of time and effort into working with this snake, and she's gotten significantly better. Obviously, I've let her around my neck, and I was just helping her shed. You can see she just came out of shed. Muerta is a pied tiger. She may be an anery. We're not sure about that. Hoping to prove that out in her next breeding. But just wanted to show everybody, you know, what's possible when you put a little time and effort into working with an animal. You know, it's possible to get a better relationship with them and be able to work with them the way that you want to. So, again, here she is, just hanging out, and you know, she's definitely got a good grip on me, but nothing that I'm worried about.
Ooh, they think I've got no reason to give myself a right to share what I believe in. Ooh, they say I've got an issue, always on the edge, 'cause I don't trust, but I don't